What's going on, guys? So it is time for a real day in the life with the Pixel 4. And what you guys are seeing right now is the front-facing camera. You'll see the audio and video quality from that. Looks all right. Looks all right. Can't complain too much. But we got a lot of stuff to do today. We gotta take my baby Kilo into the shop. We're gonna go ahead and get that big old scratch at the back of her bumper. We're gonna get that fixed. We got some more videos to shoot. But we'll take you along for the day and you guys can see what this phone can do. But of course, first we gotta say what's up to Cookie. Cookie, say what's up, man. Don't ignore the people. Oh, that's a good girl. Give me 5. Okay, guys, so I'm back at the studio, been here for a little bit now. And I gotta say, after spending some time with this phone, I like the look of it. It looks like a really clean Pixel device. We got the 3XL over here. And while it's cool, I just find this to be a lot cleaner. I kind of like the whole 3-tone aesthetic that they've got going on over here. I think it looks pretty decent. One thing that I'm actually really happy about is the texture of the back. So with this matte texture, I don't have to worry about fingerprints at all. Now, something else I'm noticing with this whole body is the display is actually a pretty narrow display. This is the XL, so it's got a 6.3-inch display, but we've also got the Pixel 3XL over here. This one has a wider screen. This one's a lot more narrow, but something that Google did, and I am very, very happy about, is they got rid of the notch. They got rid of the notch, and this just looks like a much cleaner device. This was a mistake on the Pixel 3XL, all right? So we're just gonna put this thing aside and forget that ever happened. And guys, I just put this thing next to the iPhone 11 Pro, and the difference is massive. Like, I'm sure you could even see that on camera. I think this one's rated for 424 nits of brightness, while the iPhone is like, what is it, Jay, like 480 something?
Like around 800.
So this one's almost double the nits of brightness on this guy, and it is apparent. So while we do have a very good looking display, it does feel a little bit held back by the brightness. I found myself in quite a few situations where I tried to turn up the brightness, only to see that it was maxed. And while it may not be the best at handling something like direct sunlight, here is something that it handled well. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, one of my favorite things about this phone is how fast you can get into it. I just pick it up and boom, I'm already inside. I didn't have to press a button, I didn't have to swipe. That's really, really nice, and I feel like that's going to spoil me. And one of the reasons why you can get into the phone so quickly is because Google added like a radar right up here, so it makes it able to detect your hand as it comes towards the phone. So like if I got it down right here, and I'm like going to go pick it up, you see that it automatically turns on, and then once I get it to my face, it automatically unlocks it. That radar is actually used for a couple of things. Google's got this new feature called Motion Sense. So y'all seen Pikachu. Pikachu's been on the screen this whole time. So if I swipe across, it's like I'm interacting with Pikachu. You see it wave back to me. I know a lot of people are gonna say that's a gimmicky feature. People have called it a gimmicky feature when LG did it. But there are some other applications where you can use it. So if you've got like Spotify open and you play a song, now if you want to swipe, you can switch to the different songs. So the idea here is if you're maybe on your computer listening to some music, you kind of just swipe your hand, skip to the next song, go back. You know, that's the idea. So Motion Sense is now a thing, but let's get back to that face unlock for a second. Now, while it is absolutely lovely to be able to just get into the phone in a heartbeat, let me show you where there's a problem. So, locked, right? Eyes closed, right? Now I'm in the device. Fellas, if you're not doing good stuff on your phone, don't get this phone, I'm telling you, don't do it. Or at least don't put your face in it. If you think someone's gonna try and snoop, grab your phone, hold it over your face while you're sleeping, be aware, my friends. All right, guys, so I stopped for a bowl of cereal really quick, and I've been watching stuff on this phone for a while now, and I gotta say, the screen is really good. Still not as bright as I would like, but when you're watching something indoors like this, it's not a problem at all. I really got no complaints in terms of like the viewing experience. It looks good, colors are great, sounds great. Now, there's a cool feature with the Pixel that I think some people might actually enjoy. So when you're actually messing with the volume, there's a feature right here with this button where you could turn on live captions.
Now, what will happen here is when you turn it on, the phone will detect speech and automatically make captions happen. So you don't need to have captions built into the video or anything like that, or even the app. So look at this.
You're kidding. And I thought, oh, what a screw job, because the Lakers could have gone.
Now you see that, you guys? It's doing a really, really good job. And this is to be expected because Google has shown that its speech recognition features are really, really capable on this phone. Because there's this app called Screen Recorder, which you probably heard of. Recorder does a really, really good job. I've tested this at the event. I can just press that button and I'm talking to you guys right now as I am recording, and you guys are gonna be able to see everything that I'm saying transcribed right onto the screen. I've said it in my previous video about the Pixel 4. This is gonna be great in classrooms if you wanna record a lecture or even an interview. You can use it for podcasts. You can record these conversations, see exactly what was said. You got timestamps. You can search what was said through the text. This is a lot of cool things that you can do with this. But either way, lots of pretty cool, interesting stuff here. I'm gonna finish watching Skip Bayless and Shannon talk about LeBron James, baby. So yes, watching content is definitely enjoyable since it is a good looking display and has some solid speakers. Unfortunately for me though, I got a call that pretty much changed the direction of our day. Okay guys, so I just got off the phone with a body shop. There actually was some miscommunication. The guy who does the wraps isn't there, so I'm actually going to have to wait till next week to bring the car in and get it taken care of. So that kind of sucks. But I figured right now, you know, we got more time to go ahead and try out different things with the phone. I think camera's next. So guys, check this out. We got this really interesting door here. Perfect subject for us to try out the camera. Let's actually give this a shot. Let's see what we can get with this guy. Okay, it's a lot of door. So we're gonna step, and the ultra wide isn't important, right? Okay. But anyway, we'll step back because we have to, and let's take a nice shot like this. This is good. Like, even if you zoom in, shots still look pretty good. The colors are accurate for sure. Now, another thing about this phone is it has a feature called Super Res Zoom, where you can basically zoom in on a shot and it'll automatically make it look a lot cleaner than your typical digital zoom. Now, this kind of confuses me because they opted for a telephoto lens and the Super Res Zoom. It would have been nice to have the ultra wide, and that feature to kind of make up for the lack of a telephoto lens, but I don't know. It just feels a little bit redundant. Carl, stand across the street. Let's see how good we can get this. So this is a normal shot right here, and then we're going to zoom in. Oh, this is 8 times right here. Now, obviously it's a little bit soft, but that's actually a usable shot though. But it's not something that I'd run ahead and put on Instagram or anything. Let's grab one of these leaves over here and let's get like a portrait mode shot. Okay, so it did a really good job around the leaf, but down here it kind of falls apart around my hand. I guess the bricks made it a little bit difficult for it to figure out where the edge was. Let's see if we can move it into like the normal street. This wind. Carl, jump in here. You're a minion, right? Yeah, cool. So let's take a shot of Carl in portrait mode. Okay, it cut him out pretty well. So something else that's new with portrait mode on this phone is now you don't have to be like this to get the feature off. You can actually step back a bit and kind of get somebody more in frame or your subject more in frame. So I could be like this far away and boom. Let's see. Hey, oh, this is a good look, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, Tinder, watch out. Now, something that I like is for people who aren't very familiar with how cameras work and they're trying to take a close-up shot of something, the camera will tell you if you're too close to a subject. So it'll say move back to improve focus right here at the top of the screen. I'm always down for something that helps people who don't normally use cameras to get the best out of their photos. That's a nice freaking shot. Just got this corn in portrait mode and it killed it. Wow, it did a really good job at the edge detection here. The camera, guys, is again no joke. It's definitely what you expect from Pixel phones. Nice images with great dynamic range that look very much like what you're seeing beyond the camera with a bit of a contrasty look to it. The Super Res Zoom feature also does a really good job at keeping subjects sharp, although I have to say having a feature that allows you to digitally zoom in and keep the quality looking pretty good. It does make the telephoto lens seem a bit redundant, but it's what we've got here. I would have obviously liked to see a wide angle lens here, but thankfully features like portrait mode work even if you aren't super close to the subject. This is easily an amazing camera for photography, but for video. All right guys, so we're back in the studio and we just got this guy in, a little something from our friends over at Xbox. Now I have a feeling that this is a really special package, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it in a separate video and we're gonna see what's inside of it. But right now we're shooting with the rear camera. Google hasn't really talked about the video capabilities of it. They didn't mention it at all during their presentation, but you guys can see it for yourself, video and audio quality. All right, y'all, we finished our unboxing. This is kind of like the aftermath right here. Look at this dope Xbox One X. So Xbox collaborated with Taco Bell, made this, and we got this baby right here. This is the Elite Controller Series 2. So I am so hyped for this, because I'm gonna be playing Apex all day with this guy. I'm not too sure when this one comes out. Jay, you remember? Let's try out this, our assistant over here. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually squeeze the phone and have Google Assistant pop up. Oh, I gotta go through the setting. All right, let me set it up. Let's do this again, guys. When does the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller come out? Hey, November 4th. That's dope, that's dope. This thing's coming out in November 4th. I'm actually going to be trying it out right now, so let's go. So I couldn't jump into playing with the controller just yet because of some required updates, but you guys know I found a way to pass the time. So I'm actually gonna wait for the Xbox to finish updating before we jump on Apex Legends. So I figured right now I'll play some games on the phone, see what that 90 hertz refresh rate looks like when we're actually playing a game that could take advantage of it. But for those of you guys who don't understand the whole adaptive refresh rate that this thing has going on here, it's 90 hertz when you actually interact with the phone. So when you're going through the menus and you're doing anything on the phone, it's going to look like a 90 hertz refresh rate. But when you're not using it, so if I just leave it right here and don't interact with it, I put it down, it's gonna go at 60 hertz. So what that does is, when you're not really using it or you're not taking advantage of it, it's not gonna consume extra battery life by pumping out those extra frames. Now, let's see what that 90 hertz refresh rate looks like on my favorite game, Dragalia Lost. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys won't be able to recognize how it looks right now, but this is moving very smoothly. That 90 hertz has a direct impact on a game like this. You can just see by the way everything moves, the characters move around. Now, something I am noticing is that at certain parts, there are some like drop frames here and there. It shouldn't actually, even though that this has an 855 Snapdragon processor in here, I've used other phones with that same processor in this game and not had an issue. So it's kind of weird to see a few drop frames here and there, but for the most part, this game looks extremely good. I'm just kind of curious about the whole dropping frames thing. But if you have a game that can take advantage of 90 hertz refresh rate, it's pretty mean. Now, in terms of performance, this is absolutely a snappy phone. With a 90 hertz, it looks and feels really quick. It's still surprising that it has a Snapdragon 855 instead of a Plus, but of course this thing is going to be able to handle a lot of the things you throw at it. I don't know why my game Dragalia Lost was able to make it stutter a bit, but it was the only game to do that. But for the most part, it did handle everything else that I threw at it without a problem. But after wrapping at the studio for the day, we had to get home in the rain. But one cool thing is that Pokemon wallpaper actually reflects weather, so you can't be mad at that. All right guys, so just got back home. It is 9:52. Whoa. I feel like I haven't even really been able to go nuts on this phone. In terms of like the battery life, where are we at for the end of the day? We're at 26%. I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised at this battery life. For so far, I gotta say, this is not bad battery life. I'm sure people will say this is not the best in the world because it isn't, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at it. But like I said, battery life was actually pretty impressive. I ended up getting 5 hours and 44 minutes of screen on time, and that's actually solid performance. I didn't have much confidence based on the battery capacity, but I guess with Google's new battery saving software, it does a really good job because this thing lasted a lot longer than I expected on my normal usage with it. And I gotta say guys, overall how I feel about this phone, I feel like Google did a lot of things right. Some things not so great, like the screen brightness, the video capabilities, and the pricing is a tiny bit higher than I would have liked for this device. But overall, for the most part, I do think that it's a solid phone. It's what I'm gonna be carrying around as my main Android phone because I'm honestly just in love with the camera. And the screen to me, while not crazy bright, that 90 hertz display is just so beautiful. So yes, this phone is gonna be the one that I carry around as my Android device. Do I recommend it to other people? I definitely think it's a good experience as long as you keep those certain flaws in mind. On paper, this doesn't look like a really strong device, but in person and in real world usage, I find that it holds up pretty well. Let me know what you guys think. Is this the phone that you think you would actually pick up, or are the flaws just too much for you? Let me know what you guys think with a comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, it's your average consumer. Peace. Now I can finally get some sleep.